Okay. Grand whatever Pleiasbians, party people and they mamas. Welcome to episode 15 on September 15th, 2025. But we're recording this on like the 10th, I think. It's Wednesday. Yeah, so it's the 10th. It's 2 days after I posted my last podcast. So we're going to call this week. Well, I forgot my pencil, so I guess I can't write this down right now. So I'll think of a title by the time I post this. You'll see it all everywhere, right? Anyway, it'll make more sense when I'm done talking about the podcast anyway. Oh, here, let me give myself some time. So, yeah, I wanted to talk today about how I got my STD test done yesterday, and I already got one of my. I don't know if there was a bug right there. Maybe I'm just seeing things in my vision. It's been a day. We'll talk more about that in a second, but yeah, I had an STD test yesterday actually. I got to see my love, Jason, my nurse that I have. If you're seeing this, hello, welcome to the podcast. I already got one result back, and so far your boy is clean. Uh, yeah, I had needed like routine tests every couple of months, and I guess I still do because I'm just dating around, and some of my partners have multiple partners, and I don't know who I trust. I trust my partners, but do I trust their partners? Maybe not. That's a lot of people that are messing with each other. Like there's a circle right there. Anyway, that's why I get tested. I hope to have a full clean panel like I always do. I pray for that. And then I'm going to talk about my cyst removal. So I was supposed to get my cyst removed on the 5th before my podcast came out, and after my camping trip, because I didn't want it to get like infected while it was on the camping trip, because it did get bigger during that time, like before the camping trip. But they were like, "Oh, it's so small and it's so deep in your body that like I don't even think we could be able to remove it." And I was like, "Yeah, probably not." And apparently dermatologists don't even want to remove cysts around the vulva. So yeah, I'm gonna be needing to go to an OBGYN if I get that removed. But please just pray for me. I'm also gonna pray for myself. Keep me in your thoughts. And I'm gonna work to actively remove negative energy towards my life and stress in general. Anyway, I just have water today, and unfortunately we're still recommending some places Buc-ee's. I love Buc-ee's though. But yeah, we typically have like a fruity little drink. Um, yeah, you know what? I think I will continue with that. There's just been a lot in my head. Anyway, that was cyst removal. I had coffee with Kayomi, and if y'all know Kayomi, I love Kayomi. It had been like 3 years since I had seen her, and it was so good to see her because like we have just been reconnecting in a way that I have been with some of my other friends. And like I need that energy in my life of intuitive people, wonderful energy. um like she's really the community that I like to keep around, people that I consider special. And I don't mean that like derogatorily towards anyone else. I just mean that like when I'm around certain people, I feel this childlike wonder that I don't have anywhere else. And I need to cultivate that, like it's just so free and flowing, and I don't have to worry. I love it. I was supposed to FaceTime one of my friends. That's okay. Things happen. But I am also going to have Darius, Defying to Darius, on my podcast, which is really cool. That's going to be on the 20th. I will be recording with him. And he was actually one of the people that I named as people that I hoped to interview on my podcast. And his song Bentley Truck, the music video actually just came out, which is on YouTube as well. And I'm in the video, which is awesome. I feel very grateful to have a friend that's so supportive and so talented, like Defiant to Darius, like Darius himself. Um, And so I'm going to have to dive deeper into some of the YouTube videos that I have saved on my phone, like podcast links, because I need to understand how to be an interviewer. I need to continue to be good, and I need to get good. I need to stay good. Um, and then also, I want to interview another one of my friends that will be for November, named Alan. He is a film director. So yeah, I feel really great because well, his film is coming out soon, and Darius has been putting out albums. And if you remember from earlier this month, I put out Guy Shanks's interview, and we talked about his shirts that he made, and just like the way that he was talking about being an artist had changed a lot of things for me. So I'm excited to see how Alan and Darius, what they think about art and what they think about podcasts, and I don't know, just like dig into their mind a bit, have a conversation with them. um Yeah, I'm super excited to be traveling to San Antonio. I feel very privileged and grateful for these opportunities. I know that I create them, but yeah, like who else is gonna do it if not me? Like I want to have a podcast. I want to have interviews. Here we are. Um, and it's a lot of work, but in the moments like this, where I'm on episode 15 and I can just freely speak to the camera and be myself, like what more could I ask for? And I've been working on my book and my album, and I have such a full life. I'm so incredibly grateful. And yeah, I also want to talk about busking. I was supposed to be busking one of these days, and honestly, I still can. I've low-key been busking, well, more just like performing on TikTok, not even on lives, just like practicing at home with my tongue drum, and like that's the instrument that I'm gonna bring when I go outside. Oh wow, that is a yellow jacket if I've ever seen one. Oh, and that is a dragonfly, but the yellow jacket is just so close. Um, and I'm like basically naked, like I'm wearing this skirt as a dress and I have no shoes on. I'll be fine. But yeah, as long as I'm chilling over here, I don't think that guy is going to be chilling near me. And if he does, then I'll be very still and leave. Anyway, that I just have to take a little moment, right, every single time that I see a wasp. I don't know if I'm allergic to wasps or bees, and I'm not trying to find out. Thank God he's gone. Yeah, I'm not trying to find out. So yeah, that's about busking. I need to go outside, and I think that'll like give me some sort of revenue. I uh, there are certain things that I haven't talked about on the podcast yet, but I do feel like I'm ready to open up soon. Um, anyway, I also get to see my friend Aaliyah today, and I'm super excited about that because basically she's taking me out for my birthday, and low-key she asked me out on a date. So this is gonna be really nice because we're gonna dress up. Maybe I'll wear this. I don't know. Maybe I'll just like take a shower and then like dress up a little bit more. But I don't know. I just haven't been really feeling myself these last couple of days. I know like I've been like swimming a lot and trying to take care of myself healthily, emotionally, physically, mentally. But like swimming has taken a priority because it just like makes me feel so free, and so that's been like putting a lot of chlorine in my hair, which like my hair is a huge part of my feelings of attractiveness, and I hate it because that's always been like that since I was a child, and so it's no different nowadays. um so yeah, that's just like about you know the date I'm going with my friend, and that takes me to the next topic, actually. um Dating apps. So I like have been all over the place these last couple of months with dating apps, but that's neither here nor there. The last time I was in a relationship was more than 10 months ago. It's almost been a year now. Um, and just about like 3 4 months ago, I had gotten dating apps. So I was like just single for like 6 months. And I do prefer to be single, but I also like, as time has gone on, I'm looking for something serious. And I've just been talking to a lot of people. They're the wind blowers. Darcy blowers. I don't know, people are just so strange. Like I had feelings for people when I was in high school and junior high, and some of those people are coming back around, and I'm just like, bro, who am I to you? Like, why do you even care? Ugh. it just is so strange because I don't know. I remember like being in high school and I had won homecoming queen as a senior, and that was again that's strange. Like that's a huge thing. That's a big deal for a lot of people. Sometimes that's like people's peaks of their lives. But I have seen things in the days since I have left high school that I know my high school self would be proud of, and I don't care because it's just like every day now. This is just like this is my life, and I love that, and it's gonna continue being like that, and I'm so grateful. Um, but my point is, I had treated people differently when I was in high school. When I was the reason, and this is a story I tell a lot of people, that I had won homecoming queen is because my freshman year there was a lot of seniors that had been assaulting and pedophilic towards a lot of my friends. God, I don't want my phone to fall. But and who knows, maybe the podcast is gonna switch up and not be on the patio anymore. But I do love the patio. Like this is a fun time, and it really does encourage me to be outside more. Anyway, right? Those are just little tidbits that we talk about. So yeah, the seniors in my freshman, when I was a freshman, were being really weird and strange to a lot of my friends, and I was in marching band, right? So I had vowed to myself that I would get to know every generation after me in the band and mayhaps in the school in general and get to talking to them. And once I get to know them, I would just make myself known as an individual you could trust. So everyone knew me by my senior year, and I had wanted to win homecoming queen, but I just didn't like really care about it that much. I just didn't think people cared about me that much, strangely enough. And I felt like I was pretty fake to people by my senior year because I just worked so hard to like care about all of these people who I felt like didn't care about me. And then when I'd won homecoming queen, it was like all of these people in my life that hated me, that I had known were talking crap about me, or like that just didn't follow me on Instagram, even though I had followed them or tried to follow them over and over again, begrudgingly, embarrassingly. And then they followed me when I had won homecoming queen. And that didn't make me feel good, but I followed them back because I'm a loving individual, and you will never see me being petty in that way. I'm loving, and I've been loving for so long, and there's proof of it somewhere in the archives of the world. But none of that will matter because of the power that I have. And it's always been like that, and they've known, which is why they wanted to jump on the bandwagon when the bandwagon was wagoning. Anyway, so yeah, that conversation I guess somehow started from dating apps. Yeah, dating apps such a struggle, bro. Like I want to be serious, and then I don't want to be serious. Yeah, I had to tell you all that story because like I feel like it should come up sometime. I tell my friends this a lot, and like I don't know, like I just think it'll be interesting to see how this will ripple because I know people watch my podcast, and last week's episode was shorter, and I heard things about that from people. They were not very grateful for that. Well, it's no, they were grateful for whatever I could provide. Sorry, sometimes I just say words, even though I'm like semantics really matter, and I want to choose the words that I pick very precisely. But I'm autistic and I have dyspraxia, so sometimes my body just reacts the way that it does. Think of it like dyslexia or like stuttering, like you could get better, you could have worked as hard as you can, but then some days you still stutter, and some days you still write a B instead of a D. um anyway, yeah, with dating apps, oh, the yellow jacket is back. Anyway, it's almost fall, right? Or like the beginning of fall has started, the end of summer has happened, September 21st, whatever. Anyway, dating apps, I'm supposed to be going on these dates. Some days I'm thinking about like canceling all these dates. And I just ebb and flow. Like who knows? Maybe in a couple of weeks I'll be able to talk about this a little bit more honestly. Right now I'm really struggling because I'm like, uh, I don't even like I know what I want, but I also want to explore. And so like there is like the best of both worlds before like I jump into a relationship. And so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Tapering weed. Let's just move forward. I have 15 minutes left of this podcast, so I'm just gonna stop right here, take a little break, and I'll be right back. And we're gonna talk about sobriety. We back and we better than never. Better than never. Okay, so I was talking about tapering with weed. So I last smoked like maybe an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago. I don't know. Maybe it's been an hour only. But regardless, I still feel woke. I still feel high. And I say that because I've really been struggling. I've been trying to quit. And sobriety is a really personal journey, but I've been fighting between like what I've been hearing from my community members, whether it be family or friends or just strangers, honestly, and also battling within what I want in myself. And like, I know that I don't want to smoke. And if I do want to like do anything, like it be edibles or like that, but like I don't want it to be like consistent. And actually yesterday, the 9th of September, was 2 years sober from alcohol, and then on the 1st of September was 2 years sober from cigarettes, and then September 28th it will be 1 year sober from marijuana vapes, and then on October 19th it will be 2 years sober from nicotine vapes. And it's really hard because like I know that I won't reach for those things because of the way that I'm so kind to myself and compassionate, and like the world is still really difficult. Like I do remember drinking my life away when I was like 21, and even younger than that when I started drinking, but like it was much easier when I could procure alcohol on my own terms. And then the cigarettes came when I was 21 as well. But like I said, I had already been drinking for some time, and I had my first cigarette at 21. Although I was already like smoking vapes, with my friends, and like I had bought some of my own, like with the grandfather-in-law and stuff like that. But yeah, I had smoked a cigarette at my friend Dee Dee's funeral for my first time smoking a cigarette, which felt right because it was in community. But then when I had been smoking on my own, it didn't feel as great, obviously. But at the same time, I couldn't stop because that was a choice I made, and I felt like I needed a cigarette. And like I said, there's some days I still feel like I need a cigarette. Like especially last year when I had initially quit marijuana vapes, carts, whatever, dispos, whatever you will have, Benjamin, whatever you may call it. Um, yeah, I had to taper back, and like that sobriety, it led to like a couple of days sobriety, like a week, and then I smoked just a joint, and then I had 5 months of sobriety after that. And that happens, like that happens to me with alcohol and cigarettes and nicotine vapes. Like with alcohol, I had drank in like July 2023, and then again in September 2023, and then before July 2023 there was like a couple of weeks, maybe months of sobriety, and I was like, it's been a while, like I can have a drink now. And some people can, and some people do, and they have like one drink or two or three a month only. But I went back into like 3 drinks a day. I like the first time I drank out September was like a huge margarita, and I could have drink something smaller and only drink a little bit, but I love a fruity little cocktail. And I might as well just have a slushie these days. And like I do want to be healthier in general, but like again, I'm being kind to myself, and we're doing things one thing at a time, like whatever I can focus on. So like my health, my STD tests, all of that is important. My friends, my everything is important, right? Like reading, etc., drinking water, doing my podcast. And unfortunately, I felt like, or maybe fortunately, who knows, I felt like I needed to smoke to do my podcast. So I smoked like once yesterday, and then I had 24 hours of sobriety, and then the day before that I only smoked twice, and the day before that I only smoked 3 times, and the day before that I only smoked 4 times, and then the day before that I only smoked 4 to 6 times. No, sorry, 6 to 8 times. Yeah, so 6 to 8 times one day, 4 times the next day, 3 times the next day, 2 times the next day, one time the next day, and then it's one time today. And who knows, maybe I will smoke more today because I had a joint yesterday for my one-time smoke, and low-key, when I do that, it low-key feels like a bender, and that is not what's healthy for me. But again, sobriety is such a personal journey. Like, everyone has so much to say, and then, like, a lot of times, quite often, I feel like people hold me to an unrealistic standard. Like even when I go to AA meetings, I had felt like that. Like other people were like, "Oh yeah, this one guy, he's been relapsing for like the last 6 months or whatever, and then I'll be like sober for 2 years and then like have one relapse, and then people are like all on me. And I'm talking about a very specific scenario, but this has happened in like very circumstantial events, but it's a very similar experience, which is why I compare it to that. But that's what I'm saying, like, why am I held to such a high standard that is not even realistic to most addicts? Like most people that are sober, holding people to such high standards makes it harder for them to be sober, in my opinion. And I've also talked to people that have been addicts and have an addict's brain and have gone sober, and it's like, yes, we just have to be easier on each other. Anyway, that's a great thing to get me onto the next topic: the courage to be disliked. I was having an ice cream, which I have way too often these days, while watching YouTube because of the next topic, what we're going to get into, because my sister got rid of Netflix, which is actually, that's all I wanted to say. Like, I keep unfortunately trying to open the app and play my Impossible Kimmy Schmidt, but it's not working because we don't have Netflix anymore. So that's been driving me crazy. And yeah, with the courage to be disliked, that goes into everything. Like, even in my best friendships, like, we have to dislike each other at some points, but like there is obviously like some level of uh disinterest or like misunderstandings that happen, or like, I don't know, disagreements, right? Like arguments sometimes. But I've noticed that in my closest friendships, even when we're not on the same page, we get on the same page, because it's like, I'm reading your life and I'm seeing how you got to this point, and I'm understanding. If I was to be going through everything that you have gone through in your life, then I would most likely take that choice of action as well, and the same vice versa. So to be in understanding with people, it's like, well, I'm not going to do that. That doesn't mean I disagree with you. Maybe I disagree with you in terms of what I would do for my life, but I don't disagree with you. And I've had partners that have left me because of disagreements from similar things, which sucks. Anyway, let's talk about what we're going to get into next week. So next week we're going to check in with the Darius interview, which next week on the 22nd I will have already done the episode, so we'll check in again. But mostly when I do my next podcast, it's for me to prepare for my Darius episode, and for me to tell you guys that I'm preparing, because we're still like focused on me, right? Like, even if I'm just doing one interview a month, which is awesome, right? Like, I hope you guys have been liking that. So yeah, it's a chance for me to check in and stay on top of like reading into other podcasters and learning about what kind of podcast interviews I like, and so on and so forth. Also, I'm going to talk about the San Antonio trip and how I'm planning for that and what that looks like for me, because I love San Antonio. At least certain parts of San Antonio I found home in, and I continue to find home in. And then we're going to talk about the Houston pool party. Some of my friends, actually 4 of my friends, are having a birthday party, which is going to be awesome. I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, and some of them I haven't seen in like a month or more. Um, we're going to talk about TikTok and social media and just my relationship with it and how that's going for me, because it's been going pretty well. Honestly, this episode might be a little short, but bear with me. I'm still hanging on by a thread, and I still love the thread that I'm hanging on by. And remember that it's Monday, and typically I record on, or I said it's Monday. Oh no, it's Wednesday. I mean, it's Monday when you're watching this, or like later in the week, and I post this on Monday. But it's Wednesday when I'm recording this, and you all know that I typically record on Mondays. So I'm a little off. My routine is a little offbeat, and that's okay. And tomorrow's juggling day, and that's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. And then Saturday I'm gonna be in Houston. And then we're gonna talk about my podcast health, because there are certain things that have really helped my podcast health, like this beautiful clock that is a part of the podcast now that Joaquina got me, and I've been using that for more than just the podcast. I've been using that in my day-to-day life, and that has really helped. So yeah, I'm a podcaster, guys. What can I say? I have a podcast, and I've been wanting to have a podcast, and I have friends that listen to podcasts, and I have friends that love podcasts. And I also love a podcast. Like, I've been listening to podcasts for much longer than I've been doing them, even if it has been like sparingly. Is that the right word that I've been looking for? Sparingly? It's on the spare. I do it in my spare time. Anyway, um, tell me down below in the comments if you know what word I'm actually thinking of, or you can give me synonyms or ideas. Anyway, I think it's sparingly. Um, So yeah, I had really wanted to start a podcast. I had talked to, like, even I remember in December, like specifically December 2nd, I think I had a Warehouse Live show, which was my first time vending at Warehouse Live. Like I've got big names under my belt. Anyway, so I told Guy that day that I wanted to have a podcast and I thought he should be on it with me or he should start it with me or something like that. Anyway, he said yes. 8 months before he was on the podcast, 9 months before he was on the 10 months before he was on the podcast, like for real, for real. And I had known that like with Darius, I had wanted him on my podcast, like if I had my own podcast. And there's people in my life that I have known my entire life, and so on and so forth, right? Like that I've known for some time or a long time that I'd thought would be a good person to interview, and I didn't know how I would interview them or like ask the questions that I'd want to ask someone. um like this really like grows my friendships, and people see what kind of person I am, how I think, and how I like to share my thoughts. And so yeah, there's so many community aspects that I like to reach into. And so also today, Aaliyah and I, like after our date, I'm gonna hopefully get her to come to this party with me. If not, I'll go by myself. But there's a party at Happy Cloud Smoke Shop at Lamar in Austin, Texas. I had gone to the Pflugerville location today, and they told me about that. Anyway, in the last couple of minutes, you know what I'm gonna do, folks, before I head off for today. So, party people, Pleiasbians, and they mamas. Thank you so much for listening to episode 15. Honestly, I think I want to call it Sparingly, if that's the right word that I was looking for. I'm gonna think about it, and maybe I won't. Maybe I'll think about something different, because who knows when I'll make the thumbnail for this podcast. But anyway, guys, love yourself, love your friends, love your family, love the people that you keep around. Take care of yourself, hydrate, eat good foods, think about your future, go sober, maybe, if that's good for you, if that's what you want to do. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, educate yourself, read a book, read with community, talk to a stranger, take care of plants, take care of your community. Just take care of yourself, please. And until next time, my good friends, bye.